Hi, my name's Jo Irving. I'm the founder of Love Hair, and today we're here at Clay Salon and Spa in Oxshott, and I'm going to show you a few hairstyles and how to recreate them yourself at home. So we're going to do a vintage hairstyle now. Vintage is a really big trend at the moment. It has been for a couple of years, and it's quite strong. It looks set to stay with us for a little bit longer, I think. It's very flattering. It's not actual vintage hairstyle, it's more vintage inspired, so kind of a bit of height, usually kind of swept off the face, and usually styles that are quite low here as well, more of like a chignon. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. So if you're doing your hair yourself, I'd firstly give yourself plenty of time because the day kind of runs away with itself and you don't want to be too stressed. So give yourself maybe an hour and a half to do this. It would probably only take you about 20 minutes, but it's better to have more time than less. It's very simple. Just don't have your hair too clean because it just gives it a little bit more volume. It's much easier to work with. We're going to use padding today to bulk out the base, which is going to be here at the nape of the neck. And then if you've got very straight hair, I would suggest using maybe a tong or some straighteners to create a bit of a wave or a curly effect. But don't worry about it too much because this is quite simple. But as I say, because it's your wedding day, you don't want to be worried about things too much. So just kind of, pay attention and have a little practice before the day as well. It's going to be ear to ear and just across that occipital bone there. You don't want to go too high, you don't want to go above it. So just feel on the back of your head where that bone is and just go over the middle of it. Secure the rest of the hair out the way, either with a curby grip, a hair bobble or a clip, whatever. And then we're just going to work on this hair here. Don't worry too much about keep brushing it out. It's probably better that you leave it to be a little bit knotted, to be honest, because you want as much kind of texture in there as possible. You're going to start by putting in a little hair grip, hair ponytail, just below that occipital bone. So you don't want to go too low, otherwise your hair will end up down here, just kind of maybe a third of the way down. So it should look like that. Then you're going to take your padding. This is made of hair extensions that have just been backcombed and put into a hairnet. You can get them in loads of different colours to suit your hair types. If you're blonde, I would definitely recommend getting a paler one. And again, if you've got dark hair, this one's actually red. But yeah, you can get them to match your hair so that when you're putting them in, it doesn't matter too much if you can see them. I'm just going to wrap that up in the hair to make our base. And don't worry about being able to see this bobble either, because all this hair is going to go over the top of it and you will hide that. So once you've done that, it should be just on your hairline there and then just underneath your bobble at the top. Then you need to get a couple of curby grips and secure the pad onto the head. So pushing the pad in and then pulling the hair out with our thumbs. I'm just going to cover the pad entirely so it looks a bit like that. You can see a bit of pad and it's not perfect, but it really doesn't matter because all of this hair, as I said, is going to cover this in a second. So our next section, this is quite a, it's very feminine, but our sections are quite chunky, they're going to be quite thick. So we're going from the top of the ear, over the top to the crown and back down to the other ear. So this middle section is probably about that, it's about 1.5 inches. And again, we're going to secure all this out the way. And we're going to take square sections across, so maybe 1.5 inches again, a few sections in there. And we're just going to twist the hair and then holding on to one end with your thumb and forefinger, just pinch the sides and pull it out to create that kind of long wavy effect. And then secure it underneath. So this section is going to come over the top and be tucked in this side, and that's going to go over there. So once we've done that all the way up, so we've taken our horizontal sections, just twisted them and kind of brought out the curl in them by pinching them and accentuating the wave a little bit. So we've secured it here and then secured the ends at the bottom. We've got that kind of shape, so it comes in and then out, so it's nice and full because we've got our padding in there. When you get right to the top at the front, do this section now. Just want to add a little bit of height. So it might be that you like this quite kind of soft and against your face at the front, but I think it looks quite good with a bit of height, to be honest. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So once you've brought that front bit back, we've added a bit of height and then secured it. These side pieces, what's really flattering is just bringing them up, coming up from the cheekbone, and then doing the same thing, but not giving it too much width. So you want it nice and kind of tight at the sides, and then put the width and the movement in at the back, just by doing the same thing, our little trick with adding texture. And that's it, we're just going to finish with a bit of product. So if you want to kind of bring it up to date a little bit more and have it a little bit more contemporary, it's quite nice to add maybe a flower in one side, which is a really popular look at the moment. Otherwise, you can just leave it plain. I think it's got enough kind of detail in it for it to be enough as a gorgeous vintage style on its own. And that's it, that's how we do a vintage hairstyle.